Hi everyone, welcome to Buckle Up Podcast. I'm Natalia Earl and I'm a certified business and life coach that loves talking to people. I'm fascinated by humans and how our brain works. What is it that makes a decision good or bad, and how does that decision ultimately shape our path and destiny? Everyone loves to talk about success, but what about the flip side? How about adversity? Failure is such a big and often necessary part of life, and it's simply unavoidable. So I invite you to join me on this inspiring, honest, unpolished interview show with breathtakingly real conversations that go deep on setbacks and hardships that are part of the puzzle that ultimately lead to growth, discovery of inner greatness, and what makes us resilient. Grab your helmet and buckle up, people. It's going to be a bumpy ride. But what a ride it will be. Today's guest is Evelyn Ortiz, a nurse anesthetist born and raised in Miami. At the age of 30, she had her world rocked when she found out that she was BRCA2 positive. A few years after the diagnosis, Evelyn attempted to preserve her eggs in case she ended up with cancer, and unexpectedly she embarked on a very frustrating fertility journey. She accomplished the most important thing for her in this world by being resilient, persistent, and by trying over and over when there seemed to be no hope at all. Today, Evelyn is a grateful mom to a very happy baby boy. What is the biggest adversity that you have faced in life, and how did you overcome it?
Okay. So, well, the biggest adversity has been technically my diagnosis for BRCA.
Mhm.
So I'm BRCA2 positive, which means that I have a genetic mutation that increases the risk for breast cancer, ovarian cancer, lots of cancers, pancreatic, melanomas. Like, my risk for cancer just basically increases more than like the regular population that's walking around. And once I found that out, I was devastated.
How did you discover that?
So my mom and my sister both were diagnosed with cancer. They were
Mhm.
actually diagnosed a month apart. So at the age of 28, my sister was diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer.
Okay.
And we all went to go be with her, just to, support her through the process, whatever. And coincidentally, while we're with my sister who lives in St. Augustine, my mom was like in the restroom, like getting ready, and she like saw something weird on her boob, and she was like, oh, I guess I should check this out. And then, like, once we were done with my sister's surgery, we came back home. My mom went and got her breast checked out, and it turns out that she had breast cancer also.
Wow.
So I had my mom and my sister going through breast cancer at the same time. Super emotional.
It's okay.
um, so they're fine now. They both
Mhm.
had their surgeries. They both went through chemo, radiation, like the whole nine. And they're fine. They're both cancer free for, I don't know. Your breast oncologist tells you to have a mastectomy. Your gynecological oncologist tells you to get your uterus taken out. And it's just so much to process, and so much, and you're doing all of this just in case. It's not
Right.
because you actually have something. I think it's easier to make the decision when you have something than when you're just doing it for a possibility.
Right.
So, you know, I don't know. So when I found out the BRCA thing too, the thought of having ovarian cancer to me was terrifying, because since I'm in the medical field, I take care of these patients. The hospital I work at had a very high volume for ovarian cancer surgeries, and you see it, and they're very they're misdiagnosed. The symptoms for ovarian cancer are very benign sounding. It's like, I have indigestion, I have stomach issues, I have bloating. Like, it's never like, it's just very like generalized symptoms. So it gets missed a lot. There's a lot of false uh, negatives also
Right.
when it comes to like getting your like ultrasounds done and all these things and your blood tests. Like, it's just, there's no reliable testing for it until the disease has progressed. So that, the thought of that was terrifying to me, because this is going to sound horrible, but breast cancer, it's easier to diagnose. Like, you can touch your breast, you know, there's a lump, there's something there. Like, you can actually feel these things. Like, you can't feel anything on the inside of yourself because
Right.
it's not a tangible thing to try to like feel for. So I was 30 and young, and I was like, I have time. I'm going to meet somebody. I'm going to be able to have a baby with that somebody. I'm going to fall in love and all this crap that I thought. And, you know.
Yeah, no, like for sure. And these are something that we have to think as women, right? Especially the women that want to have children.
Yeah.
Those decisions cannot be made easily. And again, like you said, you have to make so many decisions that potentially might never happen, right? But potentially it
Right.
can go really wrong. So you're kind of stuck
Yeah.
in this dilemma. So I totally can understand and see how that weighs very hard on someone, and the stress of it and the pressure of it. And then did it affect your like personal relationship, like your dating life, that you were like, I'm on time, like I need to meet someone, because I know you always wanted to have a
Yeah.
baby, that
Yeah.
and to have a family. That's one of the things that you always wanted. So how did that affect your dating life?
Well, it affected my, so it added an extra stress to relationships
Mm-hmm.
that shouldn't have been there. I, so first of all, let me start off with the fact that I've never been the type of girl who's like, I need to get married, I need to have kids right away. I thought I had all the time in the world. Like,
Right.
I was not pressured. I didn't believe in time clocks. I didn't believe in any of that stuff until somebody said, here's the bomb. So every month I would go through this process of getting my ultrasounds done, getting my blood tests done, and then, you know, saying like, this month's a yes, this month's a no, like, we're going to go this month, you know, all these crazy things. And meanwhile, they keep tweaking the drugs that I'm supposed to take to see if that'll help. But in the end, like, the drugs just didn't work. And the doctor was like, forget it. Just don't take drugs. We're just going to just see what happens. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Whatever. So every month was devastating. Every month that I couldn't do it was devastating. Every month that I failed was devastating. I was crying constantly. I was just, every time they called me with a negative pregnancy test, I would like lose my mind. And I was just so sad and so upset all the time. And my best friend was like, how long are you going to put yourself through this? And I was like, I don't know. Because like every time I was like, this is the last time I'm going to try. This is the last time I'm going to try. And then once they give me the negative result, I'm like, I got to try again. I got to try again. So I did. I would
Right.
try again. So finally in July was my last insemination. And in July, I was able to get pregnant with my baby.
Yay.
So that was great.
Cutest baby ever. I'm obsessed.
I agree, but I'm his mom, so I should agree. But yeah, I was like finally able to get pregnant, but I was like terrified the whole pregnancy because it's so hard to get pregnant that, you know, you're just scared that it's not gonna like make it all the way, and you're just terrified for everything because it just was so hard. But I was so happy. I'm
Right.
still so happy. These are happy tears.
It's amazing. I mean, to go through the journey that you went through is, I can't even imagine. But you know, to me, you're a fighter, right? You had your want and you had your why, and you went for it, and you're like, no matter what, I'm gonna give this my all.
Yeah.
And you know, even though it took like a lot of toll on you and it took so many tries, you did end up doing it,
Yeah.
and I remember when I saw you and I was like, what is that? Your pregnant belly? And you're like, yeah, I tried telling you. And I was like so excited for you because I didn't know details of your journey. I knew a little bit, but now that you're telling me all this information, I can't imagine, that and you never really showed, like I did feel that little bit of frustration and the sadness coming from you at times, but you never really showed everything that you were going through, right? A
Yeah.
lot of people didn't know. They had no idea. So
Yeah.
you are such a strong person.
I'm a very private person.